Good morning everyone, this is the BMW iX2 xDrive30 and today I'm gonna do a range test with this. This car has a usable battery of 65 kilowatt hours, double LTP range is around 420 kilometers and I want to test it today at 130 kilometers an hour on the highway. We have 313 horsepower all-wheel drive. This car has 20-inch wheels on it, I think even sport tires. But this is how BMW delivers their press cars. It's gonna be exciting to drive this. I'm excited to see the range of this car is so in the middle between, well, that's what the name says, iX1 to the iX3. Bit bigger than the iX1. A lot of features. Totally different driving feel than the i5 that I drove last week. And I don't mean, of course, the i5 is more quality and stuff like this, so higher standard, comfort and everything. No, it's the steering is totally different, infotainment system is different, even though from the surface it looks the same, but it's not. So many different things that have different windows. It's totally weird. Even the charge port. Look at the charge port here. I have again, what I love, those little thingies to open and close the charge port. In the i5 it was a normal thing, which I don't like. Why did the i5 not have this? This is what every electric car should have, by the way. It's the best thing. I don't need an electric door, I need buttons so everything opens. It's way better. I am on my way. I'm driving 133 on the speedometer because that's GPS speed 130. I'm in efficient mode. I have, of course, self-steering cruise control on and it works really well. It doesn't have the same feature as the i5 where you don't have to hold the steering wheel, but it's still fine. My climate is at 19 degrees. I don't think the car has to heat up anything in here. It's 12.5 degrees outside and it's gonna get warmer. Yeah, I just by mistake reset my trip for individual because I was doing the volume and then I thought, can I get into the settings of the volume, and I wanted to press here and then it was gone and I pressed here reset the individual, but we still have the driving data since charging and this is then accurate, so I cannot reset that. Whew, lucky me. That would have been stressful. Yes, so far drive is great. It looks like it's gonna be busy, but it's Sunday, so no trucks on the highway in Germany today. That's always awesome. That's why I do these tests. Listening to music. I find it way more spacious and nice in here than in the i5. I prefer the interior here to the i5. Drive-wise, like I said before, it's so completely different. It's unbelievable. Where the i5, when you press on the accelerator pedal, it seems like you have to work against it a bit. So very BMW like, when you press the accelerator it takes a bit till you get the power, and here it's right there. The accelerator pedal is extremely sensitive, and the same for the steering. The steering is very, very sensitive and direct and very easy, very light steering, like in a Italian tiny car in a tiny city where you need this. It's for me too light. Steering wheel is too thick, but that's BMW, that's fine. So in sport mode steering is okay, but in normal mode the steering is not to my liking. But everyone likes it different. Who cares what I do, what I like? I also drive the buttons in the door better for when you press for your seat. I like this better than the i5, when it comes to interior and buttons and space too. I have space to put stuff under here and here. In the BMW it was just the middle thing and that's it. So this is better. I am at 75%, so I used 25% of the battery and I drove 65 kilometers. That would mean a full range of 260 kilometers with a 65 kilowatt hour usable battery, and we have 230 watt hours per kilometer average consumption. Yeah, drive so far is amazing. Still no heat. Now I'm at 18 degrees, but again, I don't think the heat is doing anything and the AC is doing anything. We have 14 degrees out there. The car is very quiet at this speed and very comfortable. The suspension I find a bit jumpy. When you go over a bit of a stronger bump, you jump around pretty hard. But other than that, it's really nice. I like it in here, especially on the highway where the steering is not bugging me, like I said before. But again, who cares what I think? You should try it yourself. I'm just reporting that it's softer steering than in other cars. And if you like softer steering, this is your thing. I'm listening to music, sound system is okay. My range says 253 kilometers. I doubt that, but we only drove 68 kilometers so far, so I hope that the range display is adjusting to my consumption. Look at the consumption just went down very fast, so it went up because of the hill, and now it went down because it went downhill, and it's very fast that it changes. Huh. I'm at 50% and I drove 136 kilometers. If you do it like this, you can see. So that's 272 kilometers of range. Consumption went down a tiny bit to 224 watt hours per kilometer. Haven't changed anything with heat or drive mode or anything. Drive is great. I'm driving against the sun right now. I had to pass one time a bit longer to drive 140, so my average speed might be a bit higher, but that's fine. And I'm going to a different highway in a second. If you want an overview of your monthly costs of your EV, all of your trips and all of your charging sessions, then Tronity is exactly what you need. A lot of brands are supported. You just connect the app to your car and everything is locked. You can see your AC to DC charging ratio, and you have a 100% tax compliant driver's logbook. My viewers get 25% off if they use the link in the description below. I think I already talked about how the drive is in the iX2. The assist system works really good, as BMW always have. It really works well. The distance, yes, you cannot adjust the distance of your cruise control on the steering wheel. It's in the infotainment system, and it looks different than in the BMW i5. In here I have to go to drive, and then it's a totally different layout. Total different graphics, it works. And the infotainment system is a bit laggy, so when I press a button, then it comes. So 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds till it appears. And this is with everything. So when I go on a map, it takes some time. And in the BMW i5, it was just there. It just worked, there was no problem at all. So they gave this weaker processor to deal with the infotainment system. I noticed this a lot. So The range display is okay. At the 50%, I didn't look. I look at when it was at 46% or so. It shows 25 kilometers or 20 kilometers more than I expect the car to drive. That's okay. I would prefer 10 kilometer difference, but it's okay. We drove 180 kilometers, consumption 224 watt-hours per kilometer. I have 98 kilometers of range, and I already navigated back to the charger. I have 65 kilometers to go, so 33 kilometers of margin. The car tells me I arrive with 10%. I always press the wrong button. What's different here? In the i5, i7, I see my state of charge on arrival here in the graphic. In the iX1 and iX2, I have to press a button to see. I don't know why. Yes, the display is a bit bigger, but why can it show me here that I arrive at like this here at 10:34 or here with 10%? I don't get it. But that's how it's done. Yeah. So we'll see if I arrive with 10%. The self-steering, it is also great. It recognizes my touch when I'm just touching slightly here on the steering wheel. I don't have to steer against it. I don't have to press really hard. It's awesome. And another thing that's better in here than in the i5 is the assistant lane change. So if I do that now, if I just put the blinker on and then it sees, I can go, and then it changes the lane. I have to touch the steering wheel, yes, but it does it way smoother. In the i5 it was pretty fast going, then at the end it was smooth, but the starting process was always a bit too fast for me. In here it's perfect. I don't know why they don't have the exact same system. I'm very confused. I arrived with 12%, average consumption is 220 watt-hours per kilometer, drove 246.7 kilometers. So if I take the numbers that I drove, it says the car says 246 kilometers, but in reality Google Maps says it's 244 kilometers. And if I take the kilometers and I used 88%, I get to 277 kilometers of full range. At these temperatures, all the data is in here. Tire size, it's sport tires, 20-inch tires like I said, but it was perfect weather, no AC, no heat. A good drive, constant drive, no acceleration the whole time. So this is the range that you get with the iX2 with these settings in these conditions. I'm gonna charge a bit and then go home. If you want to follow me on Instagram, Battery Life 1, and if you want to support the channel, there's a Patreon link in the description below, and here on YouTube there's also channel membership. But that's it for me. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day and take care. Bye.